If you are listening to this podcast, that means that you must be one sexy motherfucker. Nah, I'm just fucking with y'all. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope that you have liked, subscribed, reviewed, followed, retweeted, joined the fucking conversation because VANQPOD is taking off. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't say thank you enough for you, the listener. You are greatly appreciated. Without you, this show would not continue. They make me say it. Y'all know what it is. I gotta say it. I gotta tell y'all. Because it's gonna be one person that was like, well, Dr. Eve said, yo, I am not a doctor. I am not a therapist. Please remember that. Do not take anything that you hear on the show and try to substitute it for professional help. Now that we got that shit out of the way, let's get into the show. Thanks for tuning in. This is Eve Davis Paul, and you are listening to Vanquisher. What's going on, family? What have y'all been getting into? I really need to be seeing more reviews. I want to know more of what y'all thinking, more of what you are thinking on the podcast. This podcast has been running since November 2017, and I have 28 reviews. No, wait, I have 8. True shit. I have 8 reviews on iTunes, and I think I have like 27 5 stars, something like that, like ratings all together. Either way, you guys know that iTunes has a very funky algorithm. So please just show me love. That is all I ask for. That's all I ask for. Leave me a review. There is a new review box on our website on the first page. If you scroll down to the middle, you can pop in right there and leave a review. It can be an anonymous review. I know so many of our siblings are no contact, in contact, out of contact, whatever. And we are all here. We are all here empowered together. Know that you don't have to disclose yourself. You don't have to say who you are. Just show me some love. Just show me some love. Episode 14 came along because, we are always wanting for our mom to still be proud of us. Like, even though I'm no contact, I still have moments where I'm just like, I really miss her. Like, I really miss her. Like, I should call her. And then I'm just like, nah, I'm good. Like, I shook that shit off. Like, my wife would be looking at me like, you okay? Are you okay? And she really be looking like, are you going to call her? Because if so, that opens the entire family back up. I just want to make sure you're okay. She's always wanted to make sure I'm okay. But with her being a life coach, she has taught me how to really get to the root of what something may be. And I appreciate her wholeheartedly for that. It is a skill and a craft that people never are able to come across and execute, but she has taught me how to get to the root of an issue. So sometimes, like this past weekend, I was missing my brother. And for those of you that don't know, my brother was senselessly murdered in 2011. He was my protector, my provider, and my father figure. He was 8 years older than me, and he played a huge role in Wendell's happiness. My brother was also killed the day after our mother's birthday. So that will always be an all around sad situation. Parents never heal from losing a child, and I feel the Wendell's spirit left with my brother. But the truth is, she still had me to be present for. I know I was 19 and I was practically an adult, but I actually feel like I was more vulnerable as I got older because I felt like I was grieving the loss of my brother and my mother. And I don't think I've ever really told anybody that except for my wife. I felt like when his body left the earth, I felt like she left with him. And it's the strangest thing because, of course, she was here in the physical. And I was 19 when he was killed. And some people will be like, oh, you're practically grown, go out, enjoy your life, and this, that, and the third. And, all of the things that my friends were doing. All I can remember thinking is I just want her to be proud of me. Like, nobody else's validation mattered except for hers. And for years, even up until this exact fucking moment, I still feel a piece of that. I still want her to be proud of me. When I do have moments where I'm thinking about my brother, I know that he is very proud of me. I know that he is seeing the strides that I'm making that he was not able to. Not because he wasn't strong enough, but because he just did not know what narcissistic personality disorder was. Like, it wasn't something that was as talked about as it is today. And while it is still a topic that's very kind of like hush, like on the low, more people are coming out against it. And I feel like it's a wonderful thing. But when he was, the protector and provider of my mom and I guess you can say of my mom and I, a lot of people weren't really talking about it. It just seemed like, that's how I know for our mom, that's how she loves, that's how she is. That's just, everybody sort of adjusted around her. And, I want to just say this in life, people shouldn't have to adjust to one human being. We should all be able to coexist together. I've been doing yoga, y'all, like every morning. So now when I've been lately feeling real like enlightened and shit. Like I used to do yoga a while ago, but I've been really getting into it lately. So every time I feel like bing, I always see those coexist bumper stickers. So I've been doing two things a lot lately. Cursing a little bit more, although I always curse like shit. And using different words in my vocabulary. But either way, I feel like we all should be able to get along, man. Like, it's like life is too fucking short to be making other people uncomfortable and making people have to adjust. And oh, you love me, so you'll put up with this. And it's like, at what point did that shit get like super fucking old? Like, that shit is old. It's old. But us adult daughters begin to feel like that feeling, cannot be soothed by anybody else. Um, I know for a fact that I just really wanted someone to be proud of me, her to be proud of me, like since forever. Um, is my mother the only mom who expresses she's proud of me to everyone else but me? Like, it, just a show of hands. Like, does anybody else's mom tell everybody else except for them they are proud of them? Y'all have no idea how many people I used to want to smack when they brought her wrinkled ass, I'm so proud of Eve, back to me. Like, bro, like, she's not proud of me. Like, chill the fuck out. She's only telling you that shit to make her look good and to also make me look crazy when I tell you how she treats me. Like, literally, I always wanted to just be like, why does every single person I know that she know, they always come back to me, your mother is so proud of you. Praise the Lord, hallelujah. She is so proud of you. Like, bro, like, no, she's not. She's not. It's an act. It's not. It's not true. She's just joking. Jk, Jk. Like, seriously, like, but I started thinking and learning more of what that is, and what I discovered is that she is able to say, I'm proud of Eve, and that is because it makes her look like the picture perfect mother. We all know how that goes. She's able to say it and it be a distraction to how she really treats me. For me, this is where I noticed, like, oh my gosh, like, she's been gaslighting me for quite some time. Y'all haven't heard me read out of my dictionary in a while. So, gaslighting. Gaslighting is a type of abuse that involves manipulating someone into believing they are insane. Okay, so, that's the good dictionary definition. But y'all know I had to go over to the Urban Dictionary. And for those of you who are not familiar with what the Urban Dictionary is, you can basically look up black definitions or black culturated definitions of common things, and sometimes they are super super different from other ways that cultures may explain or say something. So the Urban Dictionary has more of a my kind of definition. Classic example of gaslighting is to switch something around on someone that you know they are sure to notice, comma, but then deny knowing anything about it, comma, and to explain that they must, quote, must be imagining things when they challenge these changes. Some of you guys may remember in my very first episode, I was nervous as fuck in that episode. In my very first episode, I mentioned how Wendell used to come into my room and, I am air quoting, clean my room. Throwing shit away, moving stuff around, rearranging things, and completely acting as if I was crazy when I would ask her, like, hey, mom, like, did you move something in my room? She'd be like, what the hell you mean did I move something? Don't be asking me these stupid ass questions. And it's like, okay, my whole bed is on a different side of the room. The dresser is not even fucking in there. Like, I know y'all think I'm exaggerating. Like, I know y'all probably like, no fucking way. Bro, way. Like, serious fucking way. It would be like clothing items missing. Like, how you throw away a whole seasonal wardrobe, like, as if I'm not gonna notice when I get cold that I didn't pack those sweaters away. Like it just used to be just super fucking insane. Like, you almost can't explain it. And to be doing that shit to a child is crazy. Like, super fucking crazy. I feel like her proud of me is what conditions her frazzled hair when she is acting out of order. Like, wait, let me go back to regular dictionary. I feel like her proud of me is what rationalizes why she treats me a certain way. The reason why she's so easily able to say, "Hey, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of Eve. You know, she's married. You know, she did higher education. She has a job. She has assets. It's like all of these things. It's like, I mean, yeah, like you should or would be proud, but we all know that that's in a normal situation, and our situations are anything but normal." So that is where I came up with the title of episode 14, The Proud of Me Syndrome. Sometimes us daughters will just be aching and yearning for that mother validation, for us to just feel so proud, not only of ourselves, because I feel like that's something that's totally attached to our mom too, but that's a separate conversation. I feel like that we grow up, and even as our little child selves, we are still longing for her to be proud of us. And sometimes we stay connected because we want her to be a part of our great lives and be able to experience the things that we experience, hoping that it will bring her out of the monotony. What I'm about to say may be hurtful to some. What I'm about to say may be exactly what you are needing to hear. What I am about to say may be the door that opens for you to walk through into your freedom. I want y'all to listen very closely to what I'm about to say. You might have to play it back. You might want to write it down. Many of us are holding on because that void, we believe, can only be filled by our mother. I am here to let you know that that is 100% false. Whether it's wanting your sister to be proud, wanting your husband to be proud, your kids to be proud, um, everybody can be proud of us. We could be super successful in life, successful financially. We're hitting goals, and there's just something that is there. And some of us have completely been disconnected emotionally for years, like since we were children, and so it's not that we're still connected emotionally. We are longing for the mother validation. I'm proud of you. I love you. Look how great you're doing. Look how wonderful you are. All of those things are wrapped up in our mother being proud of us. Now, you should be proud to know that any feeling you are having that seems to be keeping you connected is in disguise. So for me, mine was in disguise as I want my mother to be proud of me. So when I noticed just this past weekend I was missing my brother, that turned into, oh, well, I miss my mother too. And, with Tanisha being a life coach, she was like, I need you to dig a little bit further. What is it? I don't think it's that. Um, I dug a little bit further only to find that I really want her to be proud of me. And then I was like, well, wait, 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 wait. It doesn't really seem like that. There are three things that hide behind the feelings of why we may still be connected. And there are three areas that you can kind of sift through, search for, look into. And those three areas are self esteem, assessing your pain. So, where you are pain wise to the situation and dealing with your mother, and level of fucks given. That third one is definitely a super serious option. I know that, I had about, let me see, negative infinity fucks that I had on back store order. I just, at that point, when I went no contact, I didn't really care anymore. Like, yeah, it was painful, but it was for the greater good. Like, I do still want to make her proud. And it's so fucking ironic because even through it all, I still want to make her proud. This podcast probably wouldn't be the best example of that, but the thought is in there. It's definitely the thought that counts. But what do we do with the longing? I am guilty in the past of holding on to my relationship with her, probably in situations where I should have just let go. It's like you're doing more harm than good, holding on to that rope, skinning your hands, bleeding, getting blisters and calluses. When if you let go, the pain stops instantly. Now, I'm not saying that that pain will stop instantly, but you will be readily available for yourself to begin working on your self-esteem, which is uh, mental, emotional, physical. I've just began getting back into my physical self-esteem because I sort of like let myself go a little bit, um, and which in turn does affect how you feel about yourself, how you make up yourself. If you are, wearing sweatpants Monday through Friday, like, and I still do that, but it's in a very clean and clear way, No pun, this is not a Neutrogena commercial, but in a very clear way, do I now dress? Am I now thinking? Because I was able to assess my self-esteem mentally, emotionally, physically, or physically, mentally, emotionally. It's people that say it in a certain way, whatever. Um, but assessing our self-esteem, trust me, getting up into that shit is like, I really don't want to do this. But I guarantee you, when you get up into how do I feel about myself? How do I see myself? Do I think I'm beautiful? Do I like myself? You know what I'm saying? Like, do I really like my personality? Like, is my personality really of one that people want to be around, people want to love? I found out that it was some things that was going on in my personality that I was expecting other people to deal with that they should not be. Um, I want you all to know that it's perfectly normal to fear taking on traits from our moms. I feel like a lot of my siblings are like, I don't want to be this. I don't want my kids to feel this way and that way. If you are listening to this podcast with an open heart, with open ears, you are already nothing fucking like her. How about that? How about we are the ones that give each other grades? We are the ones that tell each other the fucking truth. We live in a world that is just sometimes chock full of shit. Um, and it just gets old, man. It gets old. The second thing, I really had to go in and do a assessment of my pain. You know, you couldn't have really told me I was angry when I started this journey. And while I am comfortable with saying I have worked on a lot of the anger and I'm able to be realistic about certain things that happened, certain things that affected me, certain things that I was naturally harboring, because as daughters of narcissistic moms, that's what we're taught to do, because we still have to wear that brave face. We still have to smile and be nice to people, because if not, and when we don't, it is a direct reflection of her. And in turn, when the way that people see her is compromised, do we suffer the brunt end of that fucking stick? Um, I did find that I was angry about a few things, a few very solid situations. It's a lot of things that, I'm able to say, hey, shit happens, but a lot of things she said to me and never addressed, and they stick with you. Like as a kid, it's like some things will stick with you, some things you won't remember, but it's some things that just really hurt. And when they're never addressed, you wonder, like, is that really how she sees me? Is that really what she thinks of me? Um, Things of that nature. A lot of different scenarios that have taken place over the years. I was able to kind of go back and assess my pain level. So overall, if we are walking around with anger or bitterness towards certain situations, we really will never be able to move forward. And I know a lot of people will say, and this is just for on anger in general, if we cannot get inside or get to the bottom of what happened or why we were wronged or abused or misused, how are we supposed to overcome it? What I do know is that certain situations were able to weigh, what makes sense, what could have happened, what should have happened. And a lot of my vindication lies in what did happen and what should have happened. That is where I gauge how I feel about a situation. Like, what are the circumstances around it that didn't cause it to go the way it should have? Whether it be, well, you know, she was beating on me because she didn't know how to properly parent. She was mentally ill. She wasn't taking the proper medication. She just didn't give a fuck, like things of that nature. Like straight up, like I'm being super fucking straight up with y'all. A lot of people, when assessing anger, I just know for myself and a lot of people that I've spoken with, they don't want to go too deep, because too deep is where, how you're kind of swimming in the pool and your feet aren't touching the bottom. It's not supportive. Too deep is not supportive enough. You know what I'm saying? You don't know the outcome. It's dark. It may be a little damp and dreary, but what we have to continue to understand is that our freedom is just on the other side of that too deep ass area. So it's like you trying to get to the other side and you got to walk through this too deep, shallowy, murky, muddy pond. But on the other side is fresh clothes, shower, shoes. You going to walk over there or not? Because on this side, you already know what you're getting. You're not getting no nutrients. You're not getting no power. You don't have a voice. So you can take all of these things and they're all on the other side. Are you walking through that pond of murky, dirty, shallow, unsure waters? Yeah. Now, it doesn't mean that you aren't going to be scared fucking shitless. And no, for everybody, it's like, well, what if there's alligators in the water? I ain't say nothing about alligators. I'm just saying be willing to free yourself, especially now that we have a choice. Now, I know that some of my sisters don't have a choice yet. And what I can tell you is that it will come. Your opportunity will present itself. For my little sisters that may be listening to this show, your opportunity will present itself as well. Just keep holding on, and know that you are not alone. We are so fucking powerful. We are so strong, and we are by the triple digit thousand. I have done so much research to see how many women are dealing with this online. I've done research that goes all the way back to 1999 and 2000, when people were really kind of just touching on narcissistic behavior with female parents and how it affect female daughters. And I just want to let y'all know that sometimes it does get really fucking hard, but we are not alone. VANQPOD is literally here for you. I want y'all to remember that shit. So we have self-esteem, assessing your self-esteem, mentally, what you're telling yourself, who are you allowing around you, what music are you listening to, what foods are you putting into your body, are you moving your body enough, all of those things, emotionally, you know what I'm saying, are you happy, are you really happy, how are you engaging with those around you, how do you let people engage with you, you know, assessing the pain, how angry are you, what are you angry at, you know, where did it really start, do you have all the facts about the situation? If not, what happened and what should have happened? And start there. How could that have been different? Why is it still affecting you? What about it makes you upset? What about it makes you feel like, oh my gosh, I just wish I could just backhand her ass? What about it makes you feel that way? And then the last thing, zero fucks given. Like, y'all have no idea. I have cared for so long. And I've cared for so long and been quiet for so long and kept my pain in for so long and kept my anger in for so long that I'm literally having to unmask what I'm thinking to be, I just want her to be proud of me. Isn't that some deep shit? I am having to unmask feelings of feelings of feelings. These feelings have feelings that has feelings that have feelings too. That's some crazy shit. And I'm telling y'all, if our childhood wasn't the way that it was, we wouldn't be talking about our feelings have feelings that had feelings. We wouldn't be talking about that shit, man. Um, I know that I was super fucking afraid when I went no contact, but to me, it was just like, you have to do this shit. Like, it's not only about me taking the abuse. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was expecting my wife and our child, because at that time I had just got married a couple of months before I went no contact. And I was pulling two whole human beings into a situation that I was used to enduring, that I was used to dealing with. And that shit is not fucking fair. And while I know my wife would have wrote it out with me, she still didn't deserve it. Like, at all, she did not deserve it. So it was like, okay, Eve, what are you gonna do? Draw the fucking line. Because I really did want my freedom back. Like, I really, sometimes we can taste a little bit of happiness. And I know that y'all can relate to this. You can just taste a little bit of happiness and you're just like, oh, I'm so happy. Oh, whether you meet a woman or you meet a man or, just something just went good and it's so good and you want more of it. And then you hear her clearing her fucking throat in the background. It's like, snap the fuck out of it. This is your reality. I didn't want that no more. I didn't want anybody, clearing their fucking throat through my happy ass thoughts. And I'm having to step out of my happiness to be back in the reality of their nonsense. Like, straight up fucking confusion. So I just, stop giving a fuck. And when you do that, oh man. When you are able to say, you know what, I don't care what grandma say, I don't care what the golden child siblings say, I don't care what my other parents say, I just don't give a fuck no more. When you are able to get to that point, oh, I'm telling you, this shit is downhill. I'm telling you, it's a bowling ball going downhill. Period. People better get out your motherfucking way because you are going to be coming to take what is rightfully yours and what has been rightfully yours. That's the thing that we fail to realize. The happiness, the freedom, all of that was ours since we were brought into this world. So how long have you been compromising it? How long will you continue to put a whole person who's older than all of us? Our parents are older than us, right? So how long are we going to, damn, I asked that like it was a real question. How long are we going to put their needs and their wants before ours? When will you begin to start living? Do you know? Ask yourself that. Is my life really started? Like, have I really began living happy on my own terms, making my own decisions that have nothing to do with another human being? Another human being that's birthed me, that was here before me, that had complete access to this whole world before I was even a fucking idea. So if you are feeling like, I really want her to be proud of me, I really want this to be different. I want things to change. Those are all common feelings, but they're usually the surface since we have been having to mask things and pretend for so long, even as fucking kids. It does become a way of living, for lack of better words, in certain areas that I've learned does take time to break down, but I know that assessing these three things: self-esteem, um, assessing your pain level, where you are with your anger, and just not giving a fuck, like get to that point. Like I want you guys to really get to a point where little things you just don't give a fuck about. Because what you'll too come to find out is that some of the things that you care deeply about, you're only caring about them because it's been routine. You have to care about them because it is directly connected to her in some way. It's a lot of things that I thought about, I've cared about for so long, whether it was directly connected to making her look bad, or whether I would be confusing some people with telling my story. Like, it came a point where we're just like, you know what, bro? Like, fuck this shit. A lot of the things that I created and a lot of the mindsets that I created, they were already pre-molded and created for me. She already threw a lot of shit on me for me to conform to. So when you really start unpacking your fucking briefcase, well, unpacking your fucking suitcase or your purse or whatever, um, it's just like, yo, like a lot of the shit that I'm still carrying around don't have shit to do with me. And when we are able to assess our self esteem, mental, emotional, physical, assess our pain and assess what the fuck we really care about, trust me, you'll find that the reason why you're holding on is not what you think it really is. It is a lot of fucking padding that we have that belongs to her. And I want you to know that you can give her back all that false fucking padding, that the mask that she wears. It is time for us to return it to her. If that is where she wants to be, we have to live and love and send light to her every single chance that we get. I have a challenge for you guys. Just a few questions. I want you to answer them. If you are on Twitter, if you are in our Facebook group, if you are on our Facebook page, if you are on our forum, I really want more people to start joining the forum. And that is because the Facebook group is going to be slowly coming to an end. I do want to make our community a little bit more private, and I am able to control that with the forum being on our website. So www.vankpod.com/forum. You're able to sign up for the forum there or use your social media to connect to be able to gain access to the rooms. These questions I would really love for all of the listeners to go and answer within the room episodes. The room is labeled episodes. The first one is, what do you think overall about your journey? When things happen in your life, how do you process them? Do you let life happen to you? I know for me, I believe that we are able to control what happens to us to a certain extent. I've learned that the way we position ourselves to receive a situation, whether it's happening around us or directly to us, um, really plays a key role in what connects directly to us. Situations will always happen, that's life. But that doesn't mean that we cannot stop them from affecting us, because we can definitely stop things from affecting us. But yeah, what do you think about your overall journey? When things happen in your life, how do you process them? And are you just letting life happen to you? I hope that y'all have enjoyed this episode 14. Um, the proud of you syndrome. It may be something else that's lying deep beneath that. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to this podcast. Until next time, much love.